Anyway, Hassan wants to speak to us from Slough. Tell us what you think, Hassan.
Hi, assalamu alaikum. I think the best protection for a child is actually education and for them to be exposed to various belief systems or non-belief. Now, I did attend a Quaker Christian school. I'm a governor of a Muslim school, and my daughter attends a Catholic school. And that I don't see a problem if humanism or atheism is actually introduced.
Yeah.
As you know from our previous discussions, I'm a religious conservative, as well as politically quite right-wing. But I don't see any threat whatsoever from exposure to these non-belief systems. And in fact, I've actually preempted all of that by discussing with my 7-year-old daughter about atheism and why some people, don't believe in God. I've taken her to a church at Christmas so that she can understand how Christians observe Christmas Mass. Taking her to
Hassan, if all people of staunch religious convictions such as yourself were to behave in that way, just imagine the different kind of Muslim communities, especially considering your and my background, that we'd have in this country, but generally others as well. We just had a Christian that you probably heard me speak to insisting that I'm hellbound because I don't accept his definition of Jesus as Lord, and yet a murderer or a paedophile, if they do accept his belief, has more of a chance of going to heaven. And it's that kind of those moral knots that people get stuck in that I just think leads everybody else to step back and think, where is your humanity, in all of this?
Yes, where is your humanism in all of this? Yeah. And I think you've highlighted a very good case there. I think if people are really, really indoctrinated and you challenge them, not often, you have challenged people, whether they're Muslims or this Christian caller you had, and they get defensive and abusive, then that the doors of critical thinking have been shut down. And
to be fair to him, he wasn't abusive, but he was offensive.
Yes, yes, quite. I think critical thinking, yes, I agree with that, but I would probably challenge back and say that being religious doesn't mean that the critical thinking faculties have shut down. I've been exposed to Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Lawrence Krauss, Stephen Weinberg, etc., but I'm still a Muslim, and critical thinking, asking questions, is something that is supported in the Quran. So I don't see a clash between atheism and Islam or introducing these concepts in religious schools.
But do you find, Hassan, that you're a minority in the way you're speaking and the way I hear you when you call on other times as well? Unfortunately, because I wish others were more open and accepting in this within our own communities, but unfortunately, currently your kind of views aren't what are predominantly shouted at from, let's say, the minaret tops.
I don't know, because I do attend the mosque, the Friday prayers whenever I can. I do consider myself to be religious. I think the difference probably is that there seems to be a lockdown of critical thinking within our own Muslim community. But I think if we just reverted back to what the Quran says, as you are an expert on the Quran, atheism, humanism, other belief systems are not a threat. In fact, we're encouraged to respect other religions and not non-belief and engage in debate. So that's not a threat.
Yeah. Thank you very much for calling in, Hassan. Always a pleasure to speak to you, and look forward to the next